And for all that I said about DoC hockey last week and all that I tried to show and instruct how to do, there were a couple of things actually that I cannot believe that I left out of that video. So I want to look at those here. And right on the second page, the instructions are just 2 pages. Again, this is a simple, pretty straightforward game. You do have a section here on identifying scores, assists, power play goals, shorthanded goals. My goodness, wow, wake up! And the time of the goal scored. The time of the goal scored. Optional roll 2d. Where does it say here? 250. You can identify specific times. Oh, you just mentioned here that each sequence represents 2.5 minutes of playing time. So what I do for that actually is I just Google random number 1 to 150 because 2.5 minutes is 150 seconds. And then I work it out from there. For example, let's say the number is 79. Well, that's a minute and 19 seconds, right? So let's say that it's between 10 minutes and 12.5 minutes into a period. In other words, sequence 5 of 8. Then what I would do is I would award the goal at 11:19. I would just add the 79 seconds to the 10 minutes to show that in that fifth sequence that took place between the 10-minute mark and the 12.5 minute mark, that at second 79 a goal was scored, and that was the thing of significance that took place during that sequence. Anyway, clear as mud. So identifying the scores is pretty straightforward, and I'm just going to create some scenarios here. Let's say so Toronto's playing Chicago here, and the let me zoom in there a little bit on that actually. And so Toronto's playing Chicago. Maybe I'll even take this out. I have New York and Boston in behind. So Toronto and Chicago are playing, and let's say that the first card in the sequence of 4 is the 7 of clubs. That would mean that I would give the puck, which is over here, I'd give the puck to Bob Nevin of Toronto. And Nevin, from a 7 to 10, he can set up someone in scoring position on an ace or a 7, 8, 9, or 10. So let's say he gets a 7. That will suffice. And let's say that the 9 is the third card. And again, it goes to Nevin because the first card is black. That's the visiting team. And so the third card there is a 9. So the puck goes to Dick Duff. Now, Dick Duff can score on an ace or 7 to 10. And he can also score on a king. So the next card there is a king. He can score on a king not because of anything that we would check with his ability, but we'd look at goalies for Chicago there. And if Glenn Hall is in net, actually, sorry, I stand corrected. This is what I should set up for the scenario later on. So Glenn Hall, whoops, was that a king of clubs? It's supposed to be a king of diamonds. Glenn Hall would surrender the goal here because the diamonds is a red king. DeJordy would also surrender a goal here. So this here play, this is Dick Duff scores. Well, who has the primary assist? I would give the primary simply to Bob Nevin because he had the puck there, Bob Nevin being the 7. The 7 was Nevin, and he set up Duff in scoring position. Where's Duff? If it's a 6, let's find a 6, then it would be, let's say that it would need to be a black 6 though. So if this black 7 was a black 6 instead, well, then we'll take the 7 away. This is now Duff. Duff is a 6 for the assist, for the setup column. So Duff, in this case, he's able, actually, wait, but Duff 8 to 10, so I guess I'd have to change a couple of things there, wouldn't I? No problem. So Duff, and then the black 9, which falls in his range of ace or 8 to 10, he's able to play it to somebody in scoring position. That person in scoring position is also Duff, so it has the feeling of a Duff individual effort, maybe even end to end. And then Duff again, he scores the goal. A red king, he'd deposit it by either DeJordy or Glenn Hall. So in this case, you're only going to have a 1 assist goal. In the initial scenario there, Nevin to Duff and scoring, Nevin would get the primary assist. For the secondary assist, if you're setting it up the way that I used to set it up, where you'd shuffle the entire deck and then you make 2 piles, and this deck has 54 cards because the 2 jokers are in here, you'd make 2 piles. You'd have a pile of 32, and that's your 8 sequences, and then a pile of 22, which is your draw pile, which you would use for assist and team players. I don't play it that way anymore. Michael Mitchell himself has told me that he doesn't play it that way anymore either. He just shuffles a full deck and use it, and I agree that certainly for speed of play, it's if you don't have to make 2 piles. I mean, it doesn't take too long, but still, when you're playing a fast game and you want to play a lot of games of it, every little bit of time counts. And so rather than making 2 piles prior to a period, I just draw from the top, and I just try to keep track of how many sequences that have gone by. during the period. And then if I need something like an assist on a goal or a team player, if a 2 comes up, if you go to my last video, I talk about when the 2 comes up and the puck goes to a team player, whether it's to try to set somebody up in scoring position or to try to score a goal, the puck will sometimes on a 2 will go to a team player that might not, see as much action, might not find their way to the score sheet as often. So if a 2 comes up, then I'm just going to take from the top of the pile. But for the secondary assist, so again, to use that scenario, let's say it's let's do a 2 assist goal, I guess. So Nevin gets it to Duff, and Nevin gets it to Duff, and then Duff scores. Okay, Duff from Nevin, and then let's see, the next card I draw is the 7 of hearts. I'm looking here to the team. It says Kelly ace to 5, Armstrong 6 to 9. 7 falling within 6 to 9 means that George Armstrong gets the secondary assist on Dick Duff's goal. So for this, it would read Dick Duff from Bob Nevin and George Armstrong. And again, for the time, I just Google a random number from 1 to 150. You can even do that after the game. I've sometimes gone back after a complete game and then backfilled the time. Sometimes I do it as the game is ongoing. It just kind of depends on mood. But so that's a scenario where you get an assist on a goal. Of course, an unassisted goal, let's say it was Duff to Duff. Duff was the 6, and so if I use the 6 and then the 9, and then it gets to Duff, and again, the Red King will beat Glenn Hall. What is Duff's scoring range? Actually, this will also beat Glenn Hall. So Duff and then his scoring range there of ace or 7 to 10. Ace is basically always a goal if ace comes up in the 4th card of a sequence. So here, this is another Dick Duff goal. But because in this instant it was Duff to Duff, obviously there's going to be 1 assist maximum on the goal. Now let's say that the next card that I draw is, where'd that king go? That'd be convenient right now. Let's say it's a king of spades, right? The next card that I draw from the pile is a king of spades. Well, I look under S, I look under spades. I've got Keon ace to 4, Brewer 5 to 8, Ron Stewart 9 to 10, and Eddie Shack is a jack or a queen. There is no king. Well, that means that Duff has scored from Duff. In other words, Duff unassisted. So you can occasionally get unassisted goals in this game. And because I'm in a bit of a hurry, I'm just going to move on from there and go to, one more time really quickly. It's so Duff had the puck. The 9, he plays it through successfully because on an ace or an 8 to 10, he gets it to a player in scoring position. Because of this 9 corresponding to Duff's 9 over here, Duff himself has the puck in scoring position. This is the 3rd card in the sequence. The 7, if you look at Duff's range, ace or 7 to 10, Duff has scored the goal. And we know that it was Duff from Duff, individual effort goal. And then let's see, the very next card that we draw looking for a secondary assist or any assist is the king. Well, it'd be a secondary assist in this case. Well, actually, no, it'd be a primary because it was Duff from Duff. So any assist, back to what I said originally, because there is no king of spades, there's just no assist on the goal. It's an unassisted goal. So like in real hockey, unassisted goals come up, though only rarely do they come up. Pulling the goalie. Let's say the team is down. Well, it says here only if the team, you can't see it though because I zoomed in. If a team is down, a goal entering the final sequence of 4 cards in the game. Again, a period is 8 sequences, each with 4 cards. Normally, each having 4 cards. So you get through 7 of 8 sequences, you're in period 3, your team is down a goal entering that final sequence of 4 cards. It says here, if the leading team controls the first card and gets a shooting chance, it's an empty net goal. So let's create a scenario where that will happen. Let's say Toronto's down 2-1 or 3-2 to Chicago, and it's late in the game. The first card that comes up in the sequence is this year, Red King. Well, red goes to the home team, and the king is Ab McDonald. So the puck has gone to Ab McDonald, first card in the sequence. So McDonald, his range, ace to 4 to 10. So this here 6 will suffice. McDonald with the 6 means that he can play it successfully. Let's say the third card in the sequence is this year 8 of clubs. You've got defensive forward Eric Nestorenko out there making sure that Toronto doesn't score a late game tying goal. So Nestorenko has the puck. How I interpret and understand this is since McDonald was able to play it successfully to Nestorenko, it says here, again, if the leading team controls the first card and gets a shooting chance, it is an empty net goal. So by the very fact that Nesterenko had a shooting chance, I'm not going to see if it's in his range this time. Any old card turned over for the fourth card in the sequence, it does not matter. That's going to be an empty net goal for Eric Nesterenko. You can award the assist to Ab McDonald for the primary assist. And again, if you want to see if there's a secondary assist on a late empty net, floater of a goal. Okay, Queen of Spades. Let's have a look here under Spades for Chicago, and Bob Turner is the Queen. So Turner would get the secondary assist on that goal. Let's imagine now that... how do we do this? Oh, Toronto. Just Toronto again. Let's keep the same scenario active here. Toronto is down by a goal, and 7 of 8 sequences have been flipped through in the third period, and Toronto wants to score that empty netter. They pull Johnny Bower or Don Simmons, and the first card in the sequence is, let's say ace, black ace. So it goes to Red Kelly. Red Kelly has the puck. And Kelly, again, ace or 4 to 10, same as Ab McDonald. Pretty awesome range there. So 7 will do. Let's say 7 of diamonds is the next card. So Kelly is able to maneuver it to somebody in scoring position. And let's say another ace comes up. This time it's Frank Mahovlich. So Frank Mahovlich here, he can score in an ace or a 2 to 10. Well, if the trailing team, it says here, if the trailing team gets a shooting chance, the leading team's goalie save rating is weakened by 1 level. We assume that probably, they're playing 6-on-5, and so they're really able to create an opportunity that is going to give Hall or DeJordy more difficulty. And Hall and DeJordy have the same rating for this as well, only on Red Kings, which up here only on a Red King means that they are both A-level goaltenders. Well, for this, I have to drop them 1 level for this empty net, or not empty net, this 6-on-5 scoring opportunity. So they drop to a B, so only in a King. So if it were 5-on-5, only a Red King would be able to fool Hall or DeJordy on a face card test of the goaltending. But if Toronto's playing 6-on-5, this is now a chance where a King of Spades or a King of Clubs will actually put the puck by either one of them. Similarly over here, let's imagine, Toronto is the team that's up by a goal late in the game, and Chicago's trying to score. And with this, I can also show team defense being lowered by 1 level. Toronto's team defense is also an A grade, similar to Chicago's goaltending. So with Toronto, you have your better defense, but an inferior goaltending. Chicago's superior goaltending, but the defense is not quite as good. Still pretty good. So Chicago has the puck, and let's give it to 7, Kem Wareham now, the red 7, the first card. This again, 7 of 8 sequences have gone by. Kem Wareham has the puck here, first card of the sequence. And let's say Wareham, ace or 8 to 10, so this 9 here, he's able, actually, sorry, I apologize. Toronto's team defense, Red Kings, but because they're playing 6-on-5 in the final sequence of the game, this Red Kings, this level A, drops to a B, so now it's only in a King. So again, like with Chicago's goaltending in the previous example, now if I have the King of Spades or King of Clubs, it will work on Toronto's defense. It will, they'll be able to successfully get it by Toronto's defense to set someone up in scoring position. In which case, Bowers and Simmons' levels, because they are C, only in a King or a Red Queen, they will drop to a D, meaning that any King or any Queen will be able to fool Bauer or Simmons. To illustrate that example a little further, let's see. So again, Wareham has the puck courtesy of that red 7. A black King, we being clubs or spades, that will not work normally during a game, will work in a 6-on-5 in the final sequence of the game. So Wareham's able to get it through. And let's give it to our trusty Eric Nesterenko again here. So Eric Nesterenko with it, ace or 8 to 10. But if a face card comes up, that doesn't matter. It's on the team, the opposition defense and goaltending. So let's say the face card comes up. If it's a King, it's a goal. If it's a Red Queen, it's always a goal. On these, actually, Red Queen of Hearts, in order to fool Simmons there, he was slightly better than Bauer in 63. His numbers were slightly better. And if it's, what am I looking for here? I do not quote me on that. There could be another reason why Simmons would appear to have just a fraction of a superior grade. If it's a Queen that is black, so if it's a Queen of Clubs or a Queen of Spades, in this case, this would not get by Bauer or Simmons, right, in 5-on-5 play until the final sequence of 4 in the game. But in this case here, Nesterenko again in scoring position, but we're not looking at an ace or at a number card. We are looking at a face card. And so the face card testing the goaltending, well, it's dropped by one level. So instead of level C, kings or red queens, it's dropped to only in a king or a queen. So in this case, the black queen will get by Simmons or Bauer, and this will be a game-tying goal for Chicago in the final sequence. Speaking of sequences, shootouts, sequencing, and or overtime. Well, I don't do them. And this is 63, and sudden death sudden death in the playoffs was the only overtime at this time. So, and I really like replaying seasons games from this era where you don't even have to worry about overtime, much less a shootout. So that's what I'll say about that. If you want to know how shootouts are done, I would encourage you to get the instructions and go over them again. It's just a line or two here, but I don't do shootouts on the tabletop. I play hockey on the tabletop, and I'll leave it at that. Anyways, again, anytime any consideration that you give to anything like this, well, it's never expected. It's definitely appreciated. Sorry if this feels kind of rushed. I'm in a bit of a rush, and I just feel bad and guilty, to be honest, that this should have been included in last week's video. And sorry that it was not. But once again, yes, anytime, any consideration, thanks, and cheers, and bye for now.